morning, everybody. Long time no see. I had to take a break for a little bit. Last fall was a really rough fall for me, and then the winter came on, and we had a super long winter, and just all sorts of things were going on, and I just didn't feel that I had the capacity for doing my videos. So, a good 7 months later, here I am. Okay, so perhaps a small recap of the year. So our chickens stopped laying last fall in molt, and then they never came back into production. And many of you know that we're seeing a reduction in certain minerals in the chicken feed. It's causing chickens to not lay so well. And so we switched feed. Our chickens started laying again. Now my issue is I've got an egg eater. So I've got to work on that, and we'll talk about some of that stuff later. On the goat front, I did post videos of, good grief, it's been so long I can't even remember what I posted. I posted videos of Annabelle and Dolly and Lucy having their babies. So out of those girls, we had 7 from those 3. And then Maggie and Sophie, who I bought them just to see, because they were babies and the guy wanted to get rid of them, and I was able to get them for like $50 for both of them. Had their babies. They gave us some really beautiful babies. Maggie had 3, and Sophie had 4. So out of those 2, we had 7. So we ended up with 14 goats right there. And when I counted them together with what I had already, all of a sudden we're looking at then I've got like 28 goats. So I've spent some time getting goats sold and reducing my herd, because I don't want to overgraze the pasture where we keep them up at my friend's house, and so we were able to sell. I had one person buy 11 of them because they wanted to start their own herd. So I was able to sell a bunch of those, and I had somebody else buy 3, and I had another guy buy 1 because he had a goat die and he has 1 goat that needed a buddy. So we were able to sell so many of those goats, and it feels more manageable for me. So that's been kind of fun. My oldest daughter graduated high school, and so we've been doing stuff, and it's been busy, and so this has just not been a priority for me. But here I am, because it's summertime, and the gardens are beautiful this year because we had winter and the snows stayed clear into April, and once we got into April, things started melting off, and so then at that point, our snowpack, which is where so much of our water comes from to fill the aquifers under the ground and to fill our reservoirs and to fill the streams, we got nervous that we were going to have flooding because we had phenomenal snow this winter. But we were really blessed But the weather stayed really cool and clear up through June. We had rains. And so not only did that cause the snow in the mountains to slowly melt so that we didn't have flooding, it also created just a beautiful, beautiful atmosphere for growing garden. I'm going to take you on a tour here in a minute after I finish milking goats. But it's been a really amazing spring and even an amazing summer. Why the difference? Why the change this year? Why so dramatic? Well, last year, and I can't even tell you exactly when, I've heard January and I've heard October. I'm not exactly sure when there was a volcanic eruption under the ocean near Tonga. And it was so powerful that it shot tons of debris up and out of the ocean and up into the atmosphere. Back in the early 1800s, I can't even remember which, if it was Krakatoa or if it was a different volcano, did the same thing. And in the early 1800s, maybe you've heard about it, they had, what was it, the year without a summer. So they had a brief, just a 1 or 2 year span where summer was extra cool, and it really made for devastating effects for this for crops and things that summer. And so people were really struggling with their farms. A lot of people lost their farms and things like that. And so it's a little bit of a similar thing going on here, where this volcano has put so much ash into the atmosphere that it's creating just enough of a difference to not allow the sun come through as intensely. And we literally have seen our temperatures be several degrees lower than they normally would at different times of the year. I personally cannot remember, I mean, it could have happened when I was little, but I cannot remember a winter that lasted as long as this one. Usually by February we have a thaw, and by March we're all done. Are you on again? Huh? You're being so good and patient. But it has just been an amazing and phenomenal year, and really a beautiful spring and summer. Another purpose for this video is to make a small announcement that this will actually be my last video on YouTube. YouTube doesn't care. They don't care about me and whether my videos are on. I'm not making any money. And, but I do not care for their policies, as far as you don't even know what their policy is on certain things. I know some of you that watch me and have commented on my videos watch Sandy Brock at Sheepishly Me, and Sandy has been doing videos for years, like 5 or 6 years. She's been doing videos with her sheep, showing breeding, showing birthing, and just in the last month, YouTube has dinged her for showing babies being born on their channel, on their site. Now Sandy, she has been on there long enough that she is monetized. She's her YouTube channel helps her make a little extra money to help with her sheep and her farm. And for her, it's devastating when she has videos demonetized, and it's crazy to me because I've been watching her for several years now. She's never had any problems from YouTube showing the birth of these lambs. I love seeing it. It's amazing. I think it's something children should see because birth, especially birth of animals, is things that are amazing. And if there's an adult that's too sensitive to it, they shouldn't be watching. They obviously don't care enough about life to accept that's how life happens. Everybody's so too easily offended and has their feelings hurt by things that are just natural to life. And so it's not a big deal for me to just switch and stay off of YouTube. I am still going to do videos. I'm just going to do them on Rumble. So I invite you to come over to Rumble, where I have the potential to immediately be monetized if advertisers choose to advertise with me, and where freedom of speech is acknowledged and is allowed for everybody, and where I don't need to put a blur over my goats having a baby, which is such a beautiful and amazing thing. Like I said, YouTube doesn't care about me. I'm not making them any money, and I'm not making any money from them, so it's not a big deal for me to break away. So, for you that watch me and are subscribed to me here on YouTube, I do invite you to come if you still want to watch me. I love it. I'd appreciate it. Over to Rumble and subscribe to me there, and let's see if we can't help freedom of speech and censorship of so many voices go away. Hey, guess what, guys? I can finally milk two-handed. Okay. We got Delilah here. She had her babies. She had two. She snuck in with the boys. So I didn't know until her babies were born which one was the daddy. Unfortunately, it was her half-brother. But what you gonna do? She has some really beautiful little babies. And she is an amazing mom. She's Lucy's daughter from a couple years ago. Lucy's an amazing mom. And Delilah has proven to be an amazing mom also. So, she is new to this whole milking thing. So we're in training with her. Good job, Lila. Lila, it's alright. She likes to step into the milk like her mom. See if I have to hobble her. I might have to hobble her to get the milking machine on. Oh. We can get past her foot. See how it goes. This is actually I had her up here yesterday, but we had separated her babies into the barn, but then they found a way to escape, and so they were actually drinking on Mama last night, or the night before, so she didn't have any milk. And I'm like, okay, I got you up here anyway, let's practice. So she would, like I said, I had to put the hobbles on her, but over time she'll get used to it, and she'll be a great little milker. So her color, you'll see her color's a little bit different. That's because we got some clippers, because my daughter really wanted to shaved her, which is kind of fun. She has a really hard udder, lots of tissue, which isn't the greatest for milk production, so it may be that we end up selling her on at some point just as a pet, or if somebody wants to breed her they can, but she's just a sweetheart. So we're just gonna keep on trying with her. She's definitely holding back her milk for her babies, so we aren't going to get a ton out of her right now, but we'll do the best that we can. Let's see if she'll let me. Another thing that's great about her is, even though her teeth are little teeny, and I'll do something to show you on one of my videos how little her teeth are. The little orifices where the milk comes out are nice and big. And so the milk comes out really easy. I gotta be careful with her because, like I said, she's like her mom where she'll step right into the milk. Good job, sweetheart. What a good mama. Okay, that's enough. We'll save some for your baby. Like I said, we're just training her and getting her used to being on the stanchion, being milked. She gets her treats. She loves that. Alrighty. So right now we have Lucy in with Delilah and her babies. I'll show you her babies in a minute. So to me, it's just I like family history. And with goats, you kind of keep a family history, just especially if you're breeding, to make sure you're not breeding lines that you shouldn't. And so it's kind of fun to have grandma and mom and babies, grandbabies, in all together. Anyway, it's really sweet. And Lucy, she's just so good with any babies. She'll kind of push them out of the way, but she's never mean. And she lets them do things to her that she'd let her own babies do. And it's fun to watch. Now, I know I have a few people who watch my channel that have their own channels on YouTube. And I know that they feel like they couldn't switch to another platform, and I'm not telling them to. Everybody has to make that choice for themselves, especially if you're monetized. But one of those great things about Rumble is that you can actually post. You can make it so that you can post on YouTube and have it automatically pull into Rumble, and you can start building an audience there without even having to do anything with Rumble other than get things set up. I've actually been on Rumble, have my videos on Rumble for at least a year now, and I actually had faster growth there in the first few months than I ever did on YouTube, and I've even earned a teeny bit of money. It's only like 4 cents, but I haven't been pushing it a ton and that kind of thing. So for those of you who do have channels that are monetized or not, I would just recommend going over and getting it set up so that your videos automatically pull into Rumble. Because I would love to start seeing more of the channels I watch in Rumble. I'd like to move over there and not have to watch YouTube at all. I still do watch on YouTube, so in that way I kind of feel like a hypocrite, but there's just some people I want to be able to support and help by watching their videos, and they're people that are even though they don't know me, they're mentors to me, and they're also channels that I find really interesting. So yeah, don't poo-poo Rumble. Go over and take a look and see what you find there. And just know that everybody has a platform there. It doesn't matter your politics, it doesn't matter whatever you believe in. You have an opportunity to use your voice on Rumble. Just like any other platform, they do have certain rules, but those rules go along with the laws. You know, things like pornography, stuff like that. That's, you know, they have rules for that. But you're out of treats. See, Lucy's my one. She likes to step into my buckets when I hand milk. If she doesn't have treats, she learned that early on, that if she wanted treats, she needed to step into the bucket. So naughty. Now, I whittled my boys down to 2. I decided I really only needed 2. And actually, in the end, I might just go with 1 and just switch them out every once in a while. But I wanted to help introduce you back to Hiccup and Sweet William. Now, you guys might remember when we got William, he was wild. You guys want a cookie? William, you want a cookie? Come get a cookie, buddy. Bert, are you still in there? Hiccup? Hiccup, do you want a cookie? They are not interested. So weird. It took a while, but we were able to get... So Hiccup, he's been really good at taking a cookie. Oh, did we drop it? Did you get it? Did you find it? William! And Sweet William, he's gradually... Here we are. He's gradually getting more and more friendly, but today he's like, I just want to lay down. You want somebody? He's like, throw it to me. I don't want to come over there. So anyway, we're gradually teaching him, and Hiccup's just always been a sweetheart. So anyway, and you can see in there we've got a turkey. We got a turkey this year. Call him Turkey Lurkey. And he thinks he's a goat. It's really funny. Ever since he was little, he just wanted to hang out with the goats. And sometimes he'll even poof himself up and show off to his goat girlfriends. It's so funny. We got some broodies going on. Broodies. Broodies. Some of them have eggs under them. I'm gradually going through each of them and allowing them to hatch eggs over time. That's actually one reason why I have those bantams, is to be able to raise some of my own chicks, and so we're just adding more bantams. And so the first one, the lady in here with her babies. Where's your babies? Oh, I need to tilt this a bit. Sorry. Where's your babies? Show me your babies. Where are they? Here they are. There's 1, 2. She has 3. She's a really good mama. Good old nugget. You're a good mama, huh? Good mama. Just like your mama. Okay, so we have some projects going on. I had a lady contact me through some of my friends, and she lost her whole flock of chickens last year to her dogs. Dang dogs. Anyway, and her friends told her that I might be able to hatch some chickens for her, and so I did 1 batch, but I did it with my old incubators, and out of the 24 eggs that we had in there, we had 9 hatch, which is honestly horrible. So I finally broke down and bought the newer version of this one. So she asked me if I would do a second batch for her, and I just got it started. I think I've got 19 eggs in there. 19 or 18. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18 eggs in there. They're just barnyard mix. She's aware of that. And so I'm already seeing a difference with this one. The humidity seems to stay more stable, and I love it. It's clear all the way from the top to the bottom. So this is one of those Nurture Right 360. Here's the box up here. Nurture Right 360 from Harris Farms. It was $179, and then you pay tax, that kind of thing. So we'll be candling those eggs later today to find out how it's working, see if it's working at all. So that's been kind of fun. I'm not an expert at it, and being barnyard minx, I charge her $3 a chick, and she only has to pay for the ones that hatch. And we have 5 roosters right now out with our hens, so generally they're all fertile. But that's going to change as far as the amount of roosters we have here pretty soon. So something else we've started doing is we've got so much milk that we've been out trying to sell some milk products. Not so much success selling the raw milk. I think raw goat milk really makes people nervous. But we also do a lot of yogurt with our milk, and people are a little more willing to try the yogurt, and they've loved it. I love goat yogurt. Our favorite thing to do is we make our own strawberry jam, and so we put a dollop of strawberry jam in it and some granola. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then and besides Turkey Lurkey, as an addition to our homestead, we also have we've gotten 2 barn cats. They're still kittens, so we're in the process of training them to stick around in our yard and around our place. And well, I got a full half gallon, guys. And they're really sweet. Their names are Pixie and Zelda, and they're really cute little cats. They came from our friends the Wrenchers, who ended up with these kittens, and so we're gonna have my 2 daughters who just love cats. They're just thrilled to be able to have some cats around the house. We can't have them inside because I have a mild allergy. My husband has a much stronger allergy to cats, and so it's like they can be outside cats. We'll just have our inside dog, and it'll be all right. Oh, you just get a scratch, huh? This is Pixie, right here, Pixie, and this one is Zelda. Hey, sweetheart. Or is it the other way around? Are you Zelda? You guys have a collar, and the collar has a name. Let's see. Oh, you're Zelda. So this is Zelda. She's got the half face. And then Pixie, she's just sweet. So this is our training ground. So they have toys, they've got a shelter. Eventually we'll take the house that's back there out and just leave it on the deck. Hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. And they will know that that's home. That's where the food is when they're not catching mice. And we'll get them fixed in a bit so that we aren't making lots of babies. They're both girls, so we're hoping to get that done before they get pregnant. Huh. Huh. Yes, you guys are sweet. And over here, as you can see Lucy, there's Grandma Lucy with her grandbabies. So this one walking right here is Peggy. She's a sweetheart. There's her mama. And Wilbur. Peggy and Wilbur. And they're just gorgeous. Beautiful broken buckskins. And we'll definitely be selling Wilbur. I always kind of choose one that I would keep, and then I have to decide, is it worth it? Because Mama did breed with half-brother kind of thing. They have different moms, but the same dad. So if anybody knows if that's kosher, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But Lucy, she just takes it in her stride, and everybody's happy. We're still out here, and we still have our beautiful view. Still loving this. Okay, I promised a tour of the gardens. Now you can see our grass still hasn't come in. We're reviewing that. We might change some of our plans, figure some things out. We did plant some things over here in this little garden area back behind. I have some hostas planted in there. You can't see them because every time they start coming up, I end up with some chickens that get out and they devastate my poor hostas. So just so you're aware, if you've got chickens and hostas, try and keep them apart. So over here we have our pepper bed. This has also been devastated a bit by the chickens. It was full of these pepper plants. And then the chickens came over, ate off leaves, and dug holes for baths. But we've been able to nip some of that in the bud and haven't had too many problems since. The peppers are doing really good. We've planted tons and tons of squash and pumpkins this year, and they are doing phenomenal. Now, we just barely, so today is July 12th? Yeah, 11th? Anyway, what day is it? It's the 11th. It's July 11th. I keep losing track of time. Anyway, and we have just barely gone on to water restrictions for 3 times a week, which is awesome. But we've only been watering every other day anyway, and so far so good. Now we did start having some squash beetle problems, but we bought some spray, and it's not ideal. And until I have rabbits, it's just what we're going to have to do. We've got 3 beds of pole beans this year. That's something that we find easy to bottle. It's something that I enjoy eating. My husband enjoys eating. And he just got the stringers up this past weekend. And they're already starting to grow up to the stringers. So we'll start seeing them growing up and over those strings here soon. But they are looking beautiful, way better than last year. Last year the plants got half that size. No, the plants got about this size, and we did get some beans off of them, but not like this. So this is really, really amazing. And then over here we have our cucumber bed and our tomatoes. And these tomatoes are amazing. We bought this one. We grew from seed. I lost most of my tomatoes because it was so cold for so long, and I'm still working on hardening them off. But these ones we bought from hardware store. Some of them came with tomatoes on them, but they look really good. This one here, we actually broke off, and it had a few teeny leaves clear at the bottom, but it's come back really strong. So have some tomatoes this year. And then we have tons of squash up here as well. Squash. So we have things like spaghetti squash. I've got some buttercup squash. I've got zucchini squash. I've got pumpkins, lots of pumpkins. I planted several of my sugar baby pumpkins because I like bottling pumpkin pie filling and having fresh pumpkin pie filling. Our snap peas are doing great. That one looks really good. I need to kids out here to harvest some peas. Our peas have done really awesome. Mark says I've already got pumpkins or squash out here on some of these squash plants, and so that's really exciting to me. Last year they just didn't do so good, and we ended up losing so many of them to the squash beetles. I'm going to come around this way so you can see this garden here. How awesome it is, but just tons and tons of squash. All of our beautiful plants, our pretty things up here are doing great. That one there that butterfly bush took a little while to get going, but it's doing great. These ones did phenomenal. And our daylilies are doing all right. So keep working on them. Now over here we've been doing more in this front garden. All of these sunflowers came up on their own. I love that. Semi-perennial are the sunflowers, and I love it. I love having sunflowers in my garden, and when it gets into fall and they've all gone to seed, they drop their seeds, the birds peck out the seeds, and we end up with them replanting themselves and growing up really beautifully. Mother's Day, I had my kids get me some of these cute little mini roses, and so we ended up planting those. That one is on its second bloom, and it's just so pretty. My sister-in-law bought some mums that she wanted to plant in her garden, but when she had them out on her porch, they have a lot more deer near their house, and the deer ate half of the mums that she bought. So she brought them over here, and I planted them in my front garden. They won't flower again this year, but in the spring I'll have some really beautiful blooms. It looks like I've got some amaranth coming up. If you see those purple leaves, got some amaranth. And then I also was able to get some iris tubers from a friend. Now these aren't gonna, I've planted them, but they aren't gonna come up really good until next spring. There's my other little baby rose back there. It's kind of in the shade, so I don't know. It looks great. I don't know if it'll flower again. It should flower again, but we'll see. And then over here we have our strawberry garden, and I planted 4 plants a couple years ago. This year, this one is just spreading everywhere. That one is starting to spread, but that one's had more fruit on it. So we're just kind of watching that and seeing what happens there. I'm hoping to have this whole patch full of strawberries within the next couple of years. Our bachelor buttons continue to not even die off in the winter. But what's great about this is that the bees just love them. So whoever these bees belong to, they're getting some really fun bachelor button honey. So it's very fun. And then if you guys remember Treebert, our tree, he's gorgeous this year. We didn't cut off any branches on him this year because the one or two branches I would cut off would take off so much of his foliage. So we're going to wait a year or two for him to get taller, and then we'll be able to cut off a couple more branches. We aren't going to cut off too many more, but he is doing so well. And then we've got an old wheelbarrow that we turned into a flower garden. So we're going to be doing some stuff with this area here. I've ordered some more bachelor buttons in different colors, and we're going to do like a rock thing around this and build it up a little bit with some other rocks around the wheelbarrow because it's a little bit flimsy, and I'll plant some bachelor buttons around it that will just come up every year and just make that look so really nice. Anyway, that's the homestead tour for today. I'm glad you've joined us. If you're coming back and been waiting for me to post for a while, and like I said, please come over to Rumble. This will be my last video on YouTube, but I will still continue to post over on Rumble. And I want you to know that I love my freedom. I love the Constitution. I'm not particularly happy with my country right now, but I know that if people can read the Constitution, know the Constitution, and follow the Constitution, that we are much happier people. So, God bless you, and God bless America. Bye bye.